Welcome to this explainer. We're diving right into Maulana Maududi's profound commentary on the first 53 verses of Surah An-Nahl. If you've ever wondered how classical theology uses the literal world around us to build its arguments, well, you are exactly where you need to be. Let's kick things off with a massive, mind-bending, rhetorical question straight from the text. Is he who creates like one who does not create? Honestly, this single question sets the stage for our entire exploration today. Think of it as a sort of cosmic courtroom, where nature itself is called to the stand as the absolute primary evidence. And this is our roadmap for today. Our source material isn't just a basic read. It unpacks incredibly intricate theological arguments about pure monotheism and exactly how it ties into the physical universe. In fact, the commentary positions this entire section as a literal masterclass in logical persuasion. Now, to really get why these arguments hit so hard, we've got to look at the timeline. The text details that this surah was actually revealed during the late Meccan period. Keep in mind, this wasn't some peaceful era of quiet philosophical debate. We're talking about an intensely difficult time of severe persecution for the early believers. The stakes were absolutely sky high.
Because of that intense pressure, the surah doesn't open up with a gentle nudge. Instead, it hits the arrogant opponents with a firm, divine warning. The commentary makes it incredibly clear here that God's ultimate decision, his final judgment, is entirely imminent. Basically, time is up.
All right, moving into Section 1, the telescopic tour of creation. What's so fascinating about Maududi's analysis here is how he tracks the shifting focus of the text. It's totally seamless. It zooms from the microscopic, super-personal human scale right out into the grand cosmos. It starts with our humble origins, human life forming from just a mere drop of fluid. But then, boom, right next to it, we get the complex biological design of livestock. The text points out that these animals are basically perfectly calibrated for human survival, giving us warmth, clothing, and transport. Zooming out even further, the commentary highlights the insane, life-sustaining balance of our planet. It specifically points to rainwater doing the crucial work of growing essential crops like olives and grapes. And right alongside that, massive geological features. We're talking mountains acting as earthly stabilizers so the ground doesn't literally shake beneath us, and rivers naturally carving out these perfect navigational pathways. And then, the scale explodes completely to the cosmic level. We go from earthly rivers to massive oceans that provide both ornaments and food, and then we look up. The text dives into the precise mathematical subjection of the sun, the moon, and the stars. Maududi really hammers home that they aren't just randomly hanging out up there. They're operating under a specific order specifically for human benefit, like helping us navigate in the pitch dark. So, after laying out this conceptually overwhelming mountain of evidence, from a single drop of fluid all the way to the stars, Maududi brings us to this profound conclusion from the text. It's a stark reminder that humans are entirely, fundamentally incapable of even counting these interconnecting blessings, let alone actually creating them. Which leads us perfectly into Section 2, the cosmic courtroom, creator versus false deities. Now that the sheer weight of creation has been established, the narrative takes a really sharp turn. We get a logical cross-examination of polytheism, and the contrast it draws is undeniable. On one side, you've got an incomparable creator actively managing this massive, complex natural system. And on the flip side, the false deities. The text argues they are completely powerless, totally ignorant, and get this, they were created themselves. The original exegesis completely tears apart the logic of these false gods. I mean, the text points out they are so thoroughly powerless and dead that they don't even know when they themselves will be resurrected. Maududi uses this to show that invoking them isn't just wrong, it's a completely illogical dead end. Let's dive into Section 3, Arrogance versus Gratitude, where humanity divides. When faced with this airtight, logical argument built right into the natural world, the text shows humanity splitting into two very uncompromising camps. On one hand, you have the arrogant. They just mock the revelation, waving it away as mere tales of the ancients, totally refusing to engage with the actual evidence. But on the other hand, the righteous look at the exact same world, hear the exact same message, and immediately recognize it as pure good. It's framed as this massive, fundamental difference in human psychology. Now for Section 4, the final verdict, inescapable consequences. The text doesn't just leave us hanging, it takes us right up to the exact moment of death to show us the ultimate consequences of choosing either path. For the ones who arrogantly rejected the truth despite all that cosmic evidence, it's a stark, terrifying reality. The text describes angels extracting their souls harshly. The deniers frantically try to offer these last-minute false excuses, but no, they are flat out rejected and ordered directly into the gates of hell. Maududi makes the psychological reality of this intensely clear. The text outlines how all that worldly arrogance, the mockery, the false pride, it is finally and violently shattered in this totally inescapable verdict. Reality simply catches up with them in an instant. But then look at the other camp. For the righteous, the text outlines a radically different transition. No harshness here at all. Instead, angels greet their pure souls with a simple, profound message: peace be upon you. And just like that, they're welcomed into eternal gardens. This right here is the ultimate manifestation of divine justice, according to the text. Maududi argues that actually acknowledging the Creator's blessings while you're alive, taking the time to notice the rain, the stars, the literal creation of life itself, has an eternal, peaceful payoff. The commentary essentially posits that gratitude literally opens the gates of paradise.
Bringing us to Section 5, the core warning and purpose.
Synthesizing this whole massive argument, Maududi makes a crucial point. This wasn't just some new phenomenon isolated to the Makkan period. Not at all. The text emphasizes that messengers were historically sent to every single nation with this exact same simple directive: worship the one God who created the universe and avoid those fabricated deities. The argument here is that this was done deliberately, so humanity is left with absolutely zero excuses on the Day of Judgment.
And honestly, perhaps the most profound psychological truth from this entire commentary is what you could call a tell. The text points out that when disaster strikes, even the absolute most stubborn deniers immediately abandon their idols and call out to the one God alone. For Maududi, this proves that deep down, wired right into human nature itself, there is an innate, inescapable recognition of his supreme authority.
We're going to wrap up this explainer with a deeply contemplative question taken directly from the surah itself. It asks, do they not see what Allah created, shadows prostrating to him? Think about that. The text is challenging you right in this exact moment to look at the very shadows around you. It's asking you to realize that even the physical shadows of everyday objects are silently and constantly submitting to the natural laws set by the Creator. The whole universe is already in submission, so the only question left is, what will you choose?